Good morning, everybody, and welcome. You're all very welcome to this, the second in a series of meetings that QQI is hosting today to meet with the English language sector and to consult with you. My name is Brian Maguire. I'm the Director of Quality Assurance here at QQI. I think it's great to see such a big turnout. We had a good group earlier on, and we're expecting more in the afternoon. In fact, looking at the way we've had to put in chairs around the room, I think if we were inspected, we'd probably be found to have more people than designed for. But we're very glad to have the turnout. We want to give you all an opportunity to both to hear what we have to say, but also for us to hear what you have to say in today's sessions. I should say, having mentioned safety, that there are two exits here. There's a fire exit here. You go out this door, turn to the right, and go up onto the street, or you go down this door, out this door, and turn to the left and down the stairs to get out onto the street at the back, if there is any alarm. Right, we have, we think, an interesting programme for you this morning. QQI was established 3 years ago, as you may well be aware. And from the start, we had the English language sector as part of our brief. You will maybe well be aware that we inherited from, we were a merger of 4 different organisations, including the National Qualifications Authority, which had taken over administrative responsibility for ACELs. English language sector is obviously a very important sector, important as part of Ireland's overall educational offering, important economically, of course, but also as part of, if you like, Ireland's gift to the world to help educate people in English language provision, and we think that this is an important attribute, and that's something that's going to be, I expect, brought out in the new international education strategy, which will be published, we expect, early in the new year. So QQI is supporting all of education and training, in particular all of education and training outside the school system, through fundamentally our 2 functions, qualifications and quality assurance. English language has largely been supported by quality assurance to date, and some of you are ACELs recognised and will continue to be so. And ACELs has had a long and distinguished history, but it is not on a statutory basis. It's not a statutory function of QQI. And so we are moving now in our new strategy, and our new QQI's new strategy was published just a few months ago and comes into operation for 2016 to 2018. And one of the clear indications there is that we will regulate the English language provision in accordance with national policy. Now, of course, it should be said that national policy is not that regulation is mandatory. Regulation is voluntary. Providers come to us either through ACELs or through any of the statutory schemes that we're going to be talking about today as a voluntary activity. The new approach we've put in place and we'll be talking about is because the original legislation provides that QQI would introduce an international education mark. This would be a mark for all providers offering education to international students. Because of a number of legal difficulties that have been uncovered over the last year, QQI cannot, without changes to the primary legislation in the Oireachtas, introduce the international education mark at this time in the coming year. So we have instead taken other routes to, if you like, signal our support and encouragement to the international education sector, and in particular to the English language sector. And this is by means of publishing the statutory code of practice for international education, which is voluntary, and by adopting the approach to validating a number of programs in English language in ways that we'll talk about as we go through here today. So validation means that providers have access to QQI qualifications, the QQI awards, which is something that hasn't been traditional in the English language sector. We've started off by publishing standards for foundation year and for English language teaching, but we will be extending this over the next year to other aspects of English language as an option. It may not suit all providers. Some providers may well need to wait until we have the international education mark before you have a statutory engagement with QQI. However, even if you're not going down the validation route, the quality assurance guidelines that we're currently consulting on and that form one of the core elements of today's work will be something that you will need to have regard to when you're establishing your own quality assurance procedures, because or developing the ones that you already have, I should probably say, because that will be a criterion for accessing the international education mark. And there are, in engaging with QQI, providers also need to have regard to the protection for enrolled learners, and so we'll be having a bit of a presentation on that as part of this morning's session as well. So now, a number of my colleagues are going to to present to you this morning. And they're going to hand over, first of all, to Sue Hackett, who will probably be familiar to some of you.